La conférence EPIC 2019 à Lille, ouverte. Est-ce que les francophones peuvent lever la main, s'il vous plaît? Ouais. Il y a beaucoup de francophones cette année, c'est une grande joie. Quand je pense qu'il y a 2 ans, à Bologne, nous étions 11 Français et quelques Belges. Je m'appelle Perrine De Coëtlogon, je travaille au sein de la direction de l'innovation pédagogique. Mon directeur Thierry Danquini est là, le directeur adjoint Jean-Yves Janas. Et nous sommes très heureux de vous accueillir pour saluer le travail réalisé depuis 17 ans par Serge, Ravet et toute l'équipe organisatrice. J'ai à côté de moi Philippe qui m'a convaincu dès qu'il m'a parlé des premiers projets en Normandie. Je suis vraiment très flattée que cette édition se passe à Lille. Et je voulais juste dire qu'on vit vraiment des temps terribles pour la confiance, des gens qui ne tiennent pas leurs paroles, de la trahison. Et je trouve que c'est très important qu'on se réunisse ici entre personnes qui pratiquent la reconnaissance. Et vraiment, pour ça, je crois qu'on est au bon endroit et être dans l'éducation, c'est une chance, mais aussi dans l'éducation bienveillante et constructive. C'est vraiment une opportunité absolue qu'il faut saisir avec les badges ou d'autres outils, mais surtout avec de l'humanité. Voilà, pour défendre ces valeurs, je suis particulièrement heureuse de passer la parole d'abord à Serge et puis ensuite à Gaël Mainguy qui va nous parler de la Planète Apprenante du CRI Paris, le Centre de Recherche Interdisciplinaire Paris de François Tadei. Je vous remercie tous et bonne journée à venir. Au revoir.
Merci. Oui, juste quelques mots. Cette conférence, effectivement, a commencé en 2003 à Poitiers, et ensuite en 2004 à La Rochelle, et puis très rapidement, nous sommes partis hors France, parce que les Français n'étaient pas vraiment intéressés à l'époque. On parlait du portfolio, du e-portfolio. Et les choses ont changé à partir du moment où on a découvert les badges et qu'on a eu la conférence de Bologne, où là, on a eu une délégation française qui nous a invités de revenir en France, et c'est un très grand bonheur de voir une telle participation française à cette conférence. C'est souvent difficile d'avoir des Français dans des conférences internationales, et là vous êtes venus en masse, et c'est vraiment très très bien. Je pense qu'en France, on a quelque chose de spécial par rapport à ce qui se passe autour des Open Badges avec la reconnaissance, autour de la reconnaissance ouverte. Il y a des choses absolument formidables qui sont faites et que vous allez découvrir au cours de ces 3 jours, à commencer aujourd'hui avec une introduction qui sera faite par keynote qui sera donnée par Gaël Mainguy sur Planète Apprenante, et comment est-ce que le travail qu'on fait autour de la reconnaissance va nous aider à contribuer à la construction d'une planète apprenante. Donc Gaël Mainguy, merci d'avoir accepté d'intervenir aujourd'hui pour ouvrir la conférence. Gaël.
Merci Serge. Merci Serge, merci Philippe, merci Perrine, merci à tous. I was supposed to give the talk in English, but I heard that you're mostly French in the audience. So who doesn't speak French at all? Right. All the slides are in English, so I guess you're all set. I'm going to do the talk in French. If there is anything unclear, we'd be happy to take questions and discuss with you after, if that's okay. Donc, je vais vous présenter ce qu'on appelle la Learning Planet. C'est une initiative que l'on porte au CRI avec l'UNESCO. Et pour commencer, en guise d'introduction, je voudrais faire un petit sondage. I would like to make a poll. Who knows what SDG is? Est-ce que vous connaissez les ODD? Ok. Qui ne connaît pas? All right. A lot of people. Ok. SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, les ODD, les objectifs du développement durable, c'est une initiative des Nations Unies depuis 2015 pour essayer de présenter les grands problèmes auxquels on fait face, auxquels l'humanité fait face. Vous êtes tous je pense, vu l'actualité, au courant du changement climatique. Il y a aussi l'érosion de la biodiversité, la diminution des ressources, le fait que globalement on ait 17 grandes catégories, la fin de la pauvreté, la nutrition, les problèmes de genre, etc. etc. Les Nations Unies ont créé 17 grandes catégories. Une façon de regarder ces 17 catégories, c'est le gâteau qu'on voit à droite, qui est présenté comme ça, c'est la représentation de Rockstrom. En bas, vous avez la biosphère, c'est-à-dire ce qui soutient le développement des civilisations. Nous avons besoin de vie pour pouvoir manger et maintenir l'équilibre. Ensuite, vous avez la société qui s'est développée et qui elle-même est face à tout un tas de problèmes. Et puis, pour qu'elle puisse continuer, on a besoin d'une économie saine et solidaire. Cette articulation des 3 niveaux qui représentent les 17 montre l'interrelation de ces systèmes. En fait, aujourd'hui, on ne sait pas comment on peut résoudre tout ça d'un coup. Personne ne sait. Personne ne sait comment est-ce qu'on peut attaquer ces 17 SDG, et on sait pertinemment que si on n'y arrive pas, s'il en manque un, si on ne respecte pas nos engagements sur le climat, ou si on a une érosion de la biodiversité trop forte, si on accroît les migrations ou les guerres, etc., on va au-devant de cauchemars. Donc on a besoin de trouver une solution intégrée à ces 17 SDG. Et le problème fondamental, sur lequel je pense tout le monde est d'accord, c'est le fait que les problèmes que l'on crée en tant qu'humanité vont plus vite que nos capacités à les résoudre. Donc en fait, on a besoin d'une nouvelle organisation du savoir, une nouvelle organisation de la connaissance, une organisation de l'apprentissage. Alors, je voudrais faire un petit détour ici, qui est, j'en appelle à votre imagination. Je voudrais qu'on s'embarque un peu pendant 2 slides ou 3, dans une vision peut-être un peu utopique, mais qui a le mérite de présenter les choses sous un autre angle. Imaginez qu'à l'école, et au-delà, tout le monde soit invité à développer et à analyser son ikigai. Son ikigai, c'est ce concept japonais qui dit que notre chemin de vie, là où on sera le plus en paix avec nous-mêmes et le plus productif, c'est la rencontre de 4 grands domaines, qui est ce que l'on aime faire, ce que l'on est bon à faire, ce dont le monde a besoin, en l'occurrence les SDG, et ce pour lequel on peut trouver des ressources. Quand on est dans cet environnement-là, on est beaucoup plus productif et beaucoup plus heureux. Imaginez qu'on soit invité à développer cet ikigai en tant que personne, en tant que groupe. Imaginez qu'on apprenne à collaborer à grosse échelle, au lieu d'apprendre à être en compétition les uns avec les autres. Imaginez qu'on apprenne à résoudre les problèmes, et a fortiori à les résoudre ensemble, plutôt que de faire des exercices de mémoire ou des exercices de calcul, ou en tout cas en plus d'autant que la mémoire et le calcul, comme vous le savez, c'est les 2 grandes choses pour lesquelles l'IA est tellement meilleure que nous, qu'elle nous surpasse dans bien des domaines, et en particulier pour ses applications dans les jobs qui viennent, et ceux d'aujourd'hui, et a fortiori ceux de demain. Imaginez, juste le petit cartoon, si vous ne le connaissez pas, il est quand même très représentatif d'un système qui est encore en place, mais qui montre un peu ses limites. Si les animaux représentent des différents types d'étudiants, les learners, d'accord, qui ont tous des compétences différentes, parce qu'il y en a un qui sait nager, puis il y en a 2 qui savent nager, 3, pas forcément les autres, par exemple. Mais voilà, le problème, c'est que l'enseignant vous dit, bon ben on va faire quelque chose de très simple, quelque chose de juste, on va faire un exercice, et cet exercice qui sanctionnera votre parcours, hein, c'est monter aux arbres. Vous imaginez comme il est content le poisson. Voilà. Le système éducatif aujourd'hui, à bien des égards, ressemble à ça. On a quelques métriques, quelque chose qu'on souhaite mesurer, et c'est ça qui va conditionner une partie du développement des gens. On est très loin du problem solving, on est très loin de la collaboration, on est très loin de trouver son ikigai. Bien. Alors, évidemment, tout ça, c'est un petit peu du domaine de l'imagination, mais je vous demande encore une petite minute d'imagination. Imaginons qu'on ait toutes ces personnes qui soient capables de collaborer, de trouver là pour lequel ils ont le meilleur intérêt personnel et collectif, et qu'ils apprennent à résoudre, et en particulier à résoudre ensemble. Alors on peut imaginer une autre façon d'aborder les SDG, qui est que tout le monde pourrait contribuer à essayer de les résoudre, parce que dès l'enfance, on pourrait s'intéresser à la manière dont on travaille en collectif, à essayer de résoudre les problèmes où on est confronté. D'accord ? C'est des problèmes locaux au début, et puis de plus en plus grands à mesure qu'on se développe et que nos capacités à résoudre, et en particulier à résoudre collectivement, augmentent. Donc cette vision, you may say that I'm a dreamer, d'accord, but I'm not the only one. Et si vous connaissez la chanson, vous savez comment elle finit. Aujourd'hui, les jeunes sont dans la rue. Aujourd'hui, les jeunes demandent à ce qu'on écoute la science, demandent à ce que le politique, le privé, le public s'organisent autrement pour répondre. Il y a un besoin, un appétit, parce qu'on sait que les problèmes auxquels on est confronté ne font qu'augmenter et qu'on n'est pas en mesure aujourd'hui de nous organiser pour y répondre. Donc, il y a une certaine masse critique, une mobilisation, un engagement qui est là et sur lequel on peut peut-être s'appuyer. Et puis surtout, il y a énormément de gens qui font un boulot remarquable dans le monde pour justement faire ça. Changer les principes de l'éducation et de l'apprentissage tout au long de la vie pour se recentrer sur les capacités des gens, les aider à mieux se comprendre, à mieux être actifs, à mieux s'insérer dans un collectif, à travailler ensemble et à résoudre des problèmes. Ça existe et ça prend une allure et une dimension qui est suffisante pour pouvoir penser l'après. Au CRI, donc le Centre de recherche interdisciplinaire, c'est des choses qu'on développe depuis une quinzaine d'années. On l'a fait dans tout un tas de formats différents, avec des publics différents, dans des pays différents, et ça marche très bien. Donc la question, si vous voulez, la question fondamentale qui nous anime dans ce projet, avec l'UNESCO, c'est comment est-ce qu'on peut mobiliser l'intelligence collective à une très grande échelle pour permettre à chacun de prendre mieux soin de soi, des autres et de la planète. Et pour ça, les chiffres, je vous en donne deux, mais on pourrait en prendre bien d'autres. Il y a 200 millions d'étudiants sur les bancs de la fac dans le monde. Vous imaginez 200 millions d'étudiants qui, au lieu de prendre des cours, iraient en TP pour essayer de résoudre des problèmes? Ça fait quand même beaucoup d'heures de cerveau disponible, comme dirait l'autre. Il y a 1,3 milliard de personnes qui travaillent, soit en tant qu'apprenants, soit en tant qu'enseignants, de par le monde dans l'éducation. Les programmes que je vous ai présentés précédemment, Design for Change par exemple, qui est à droite, ça commence à 4 ans. Les aventuriers au CRI, où on développe le questionnement des enfants, ça commence à 4 ans. Donc on peut aller relativement loin là-dedans. Et après tout, en tant que lifelong learner, en tant qu'apprenant tout au long de la vie, on est 7 milliards. D'accord ? On peut tous contribuer d'une certaine façon. Donc comment est-ce qu'on peut inviter les gens à attaquer les problèmes auxquels on est confronté, à pouvoir contribuer, pas simplement à rester passif en disant non, 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 mais en proposant grand d'autres. Alors, cette idée de Learning Planet Initiative vient de ça, vient du constat qu'on a d'un côté des problèmes et de l'autre côté, on a des embryons de solutions qu'il s'agit maintenant de faire coalescer et de faire passer à l'échelle. Donc, Engage all learners in meaningful projects contributing to all SDGs, ça c'est l'objectif, comment est-ce qu'on engage les apprenants sur les projets. Et pour ça, on a grosso modo 2 moyens d'action. Le premier, c'est sur l'inspiration et le deuxième, c'est sur empowerment, qui n'existe pas en français comme mot et c'est bien dommage. Alors, Inspire, pourquoi? Parce qu'il faut qu'il y ait un maximum de gens qui se sentent légitimes et intéressés pour agir. Et Empower, parce qu'il ne s'agit pas d'être intéressé, il faut ensuite pouvoir monter en compétence et être capable d'eux. Et pour ça, je vous propose donc de passer en revue très rapidement les quelques initiatives que l'on a en projet au sein de ce consortium, pour pouvoir d'une part inspirer et deuxièmement empowerer, si vous me permettez ce néologisme. Inspire, c'est comment est-ce qu'on engage, comment est-ce qu'on fait savoir et comment est-ce qu'on engage les gens. Pour ça, on a 2 propositions. La première, c'est d'organiser un Learning Planet Festival, un festival de la planète apprenante. Ce festival de l'apprentissage, c'est quelque chose que l'on souhaite faire le 24 janvier, donc la première édition aura lieu en janvier prochain, au siège de l'UNESCO pour lancer ça. C'est un festival qu'on veut annuel où chacun est invité à célébrer ses apprentissages et en particulier ce qu'il a appris qui lui permet de prendre mieux soin de lui, des autres et de la planète. C'est quelque chose qui démarre cette année en prototypage et qui va progressivement prendre de l'ampleur. On le voit un peu comme une fête de la musique pour nos amis français, à savoir quelque chose où chacun est invité à le faire, à pouvoir l'organiser localement. Une des extensions de ce Learning Planet Festival, c'est l'organisation de jeux du développement durable. Ça veut dire quoi? Ça veut dire que on connaît les prix Nobel dans les disciplines, on connaît les Jeux Olympiques sur le sport. Qu'est-ce qu'on a sur l'engagement? Qu'est-ce qu'on a pour célébrer ceux qui ont fait des choses formidables pour résoudre et qui attaquent les choses de façon positive? On n'a pas de moyen de les reconnaître. On n'a pas de moyen de savoir quelles sont les personnes qui font le plus, qui contribuent le plus à éviter qu'il n'y ait plus de vie dans les océans ou que les problèmes de genre dégénèrent. Ou que, voilà, on ne sait pas qui c'est. C'est confidentiel parce qu'il n'y a pas de mécanisme de reconnaissance. Donc célébrer cet engagement avec des jeux dédiés qui permettraient, dans une friendly competition, de faire quelque chose à une échelle locale, c'est pour nous un objectif important. Et donc on a pour mission de monter l'embryon de ça pour 2021, qui fera donc un écho et montrer en puissance par rapport au Festival de l'Apprendre. Alors ça, c'est pour pouvoir faire que ces idées diffusent et que plus de gens se sentent concernés. Et puis ensuite, qu'est-ce qu'on fait une fois qu'on a célébré, qu'on a su qu'il se passait des choses? Comment on change les principes éducatifs? Ben pour ça, il faut pouvoir identifier qui fait quoi, savoir qu'il y a des gens qui font des choses formidables, aider les enseignants, aider les apprenants, aider les directeurs d'école ou les directeurs de formation à pouvoir s'inspirer des meilleures méthodes. Et comment est-ce qu'on fait ça? Alors, on vous propose une série d'initiatives qu'on a lancées, mais qui ne sont pas mutuellement exclusives, qui fonctionnent de façon holistique. Et puis, il y aura peut-être plein d'autres choses qu'on pourra rajouter, puisque c'est fondamentalement une démarche ouverte et qui s'enrichit au fur et à mesure des rencontres et des propositions de collaboration. La première, c'est d'organiser des événements localement, à tous les étages, et on est en train de créer des toolkits pour ça, puisqu'on a fait la première en juillet, une organisation qui permet la tenue d'ateliers qui permettent de faire savoir qui fait des choses, qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire, organiser un collectif. On fait toujours plus quand on est ensemble. C'est toujours difficile de commencer quand on est tout seul, ou qu'on se croit tout seul. Mais au niveau d'une ville, le nombre d'enseignants qui ont envie de s'engager pour les SDG, c'est peut-être 10%, 15%, 20%, peut-être plus. Comment est-ce qu'on les regroupe? Comment est-ce qu'on les aide? Comment est-ce qu'on leur facilite le travail pour identifier les meilleurs contenus, identifier les meilleures pédagogies, pouvoir s'inspirer les uns des autres, s'entraider, etc. Ça, c'est un point essentiel parce qu'il ne faut pas rester tout seul. La deuxième, c'est que pour faire ça, on a besoin effectivement d'identifier qui fait quoi et qui a les meilleurs outils ou les meilleures méthodes pour tel ou tel sujet. Et ça, c'est un travail qui est en cours de benchmark, d'identification de ressources qui sont déjà existantes pour les regrouper à un endroit qui facilite cette appropriation. On fait des MOOC, on en a déjà fait un, on en fera un autre, et il y en a d'autres dans le pipe. Je pense que ça fait partie des ressources qu'on peut créer de façon ad hoc pour aider cette transition. Tout ça, ça doit se faire dans un système qui est fondamentalement open source. Pour nous, ce qui est le plus important dans cette histoire, c'est de créer les conditions pour que chacun puisse agir. C'est pas à nous de décider quelles sont les bonnes ressources, c'est certainement pas à nous de décider comment est-ce qu'on fait les choses, on n'en sait rien, on sait faire nous chez nous, mais on ne sait pas pour ailleurs. Par contre, il y a plein de gens qui peuvent contribuer, et c'est bien la force de l'open source d'arriver à créer des conditions pour qu'un collectif puisse aller beaucoup plus loin. Donc, une plateforme open source qui permet justement de mettre en commun les ressources et les meilleures manières d'apprentissage, ça nous semble important. Donc, la liste des premiers partenaires qui sont intéressés par cette approche, partenaires, peut-être pas au sens institutionnel, on n'a pas à signer des conventions à chaque fois, on a aligné des bonnes volontés avec des gens qui souhaitent nous aider et il y a plein de moyens de contribuer. On peut donner du temps, on peut donner de l'argent, on peut donner des moyens ou des ressources ou mettre en commun des plateformes ou les interfacer pour les rendre interopérables et ainsi démultiplier les effets. D'accord ? Il y a besoin de quelque chose qui soit global, et qui puisse être cross-sectoriel pour que chacun puisse contribuer. Donc une des premières listes des choses qu'on a faites très brièvement ici, c'est la liste des choses qu'on peut faire quand on a, en fonction du temps disponible. Quand on a 5 minutes, on ne peut pas faire la même chose que quand on a 1 heure, et si on veut passer plusieurs jours, et a fortiori si on veut vraiment s'engager, il y a une liste de choses qu'on peut faire. C'est une première liste qui va évoluer, et ce que je vous propose dans l'atelier qui va suivre cet après-midi, qu'on anime avec Tudor qui est ici présent, c'est de réfléchir à la meilleure manière de susciter cet engagement, mais aussi de le reconnaître, et comment est-ce que les badges et la communauté qui est ici, dont c'est la très fine de cette thématique, peut nous aider à penser des systèmes de reconnaissance qui soient susceptibles de faciliter l'engagement. Voilà. Alors, je vous remercie beaucoup pour votre attention, et je vous propose les liens suivants si vous voulez continuer avec nous l'aventure. Les 3 premiers, c'est pour le Learning Planet, et les 2 derniers, c'est moi si vous voulez m'envoyer un petit message. Le hashtag, c'est Learning Planet, et à très bientôt pour de nouvelles aventures. Au revoir.
Est-ce que il y aurait des questions, questions dans le public? Ou est-ce que vous êtes, comment dire, impressionné par peut-être Learning Planet? Alors, si vous n'avez pas de questions, if you don't have any questions now, vous pouvez nous rejoindre à l'atelier qui débutera à 16h pour venir échanger avec donc Tudor et Gaël et moi-même, sur comment contribuer à ce magnifique projet ambitieux. Ah, une question.
Et ben, du coup, question facile, est-ce qu'il y a des choses concrètes que vous lancez à travers des événements au CRI, ou des ateliers avec les étudiants ou avec d'autres communautés? Parce que là, on voit bien le programme et l'ampleur, et c'est hyper impressionnant. Est-ce qu'il y a des petits trucs, plus de détails que du coup on pourrait avoir aussi?
La première chose qu'on fait, c'est lancer le festival pour janvier. Donc ça, et puis préparer les conditions de la plateforme pour qu'elle puisse être susceptible d'accueillir un collectif open source, qui sont les deux gros enjeux pour nous, parce que tant qu'on n'a pas ça, on ne peut pas monter rapidement en compétences. En fait, on a énormément de gens qui viennent nous dire qu'ils souhaiteraient participer. On connaît énormément de changemakers, d'éducateurs, etc. On a des ressources qu'on pourrait déjà partager. La question, c'est comment est-ce qu'on fait ça de manière à ce qu'il n'y ait pas un bottleneck au CRI avec quelques personnes qui font un burn-out régulier parce qu'il y a trop d'informations qui viennent, on n'arrive pas à les distribuer. Donc, penser le collectif open source et le structurer, ça c'est notre priorité. Au CRI, il se passe plein de choses. En fait, l'ensemble de la stratégie du CRI a été réaligné sur Learning Planet. Donc en fait, tout ce qui se passe au CRI est fondamentalement aligné là-dessus. Nos étudiants sont évidemment très moteurs. En juillet, on a tenu la Learning Planet Assembly, où on a réuni 120 personnes issues du monde de l'entrepreneuriat social, de l'éducation, des politiques publiques, du privé, des fondations. Avec l'aide de l'UNESCO, on a structuré un petit collectif pour justement essayer de réfléchir à une roadmap de ce projet. Il n'est pas hors sol, hein. Il y a plein de choses qui existent déjà, et c'est ça qui est fascinant et qui en même temps qui nous incite à aller plus loin. L'UNESCO, par exemple, a un service entier qui est dédié à l'éducation et au développement durable. Ils ont des milliers de ressources, ils ont des centaines de MOOC, de bouquins, d'expériences, de case studies. Mais personne ne le sait. Enfin, je veux dire, est-ce que si vous êtes un enseignant et que vous voulez trouver une réponse à votre question qui est comment j'enseigne le changement climatique à mes gamins sans les mettre dans une situation extrêmement anxiogène, ben, je ne sais pas où aller, parce que quand on tape ça sur Google, ça ne ressort pas. Oui. Donc en fait, il y a un problème fondamental qui est que d'un côté, il y a beaucoup de choses qui existent, mais qui restent encore un peu confidentielles, et d'autre part, il y a un besoin qui est toujours plus important. Et le changement climatique, il est cathartique, il est hystérique, parce que ça excite beaucoup de gens, mais sur les 16 autres, il y a des défis qui sont au moins aussi importants et qui passent sous le boisseau. Donc c'est pas simple d'enseigner les SDG, et surtout, donner à comprendre la complexité des enjeux, c'est une chose, mais comment on fait pour transformer la pédagogie, encore une fois, pour que les enfants, les étudiants, nous-mêmes, on puisse tout simplement se dire, d'accord, et donc qu'est-ce que je fais? Et comment je peux contribuer? Comment je peux essayer de développer mes propres idées, aider quelqu'un qui développe une solution qui a l'air intéressante, apprendre de ces erreurs-là, participer à un collectif? Cette complexité-là, elle est difficile aujourd'hui à distiller dans le système éducatif. Elle est possible, mais elle est difficile. Donc ce changement-là, il doit se faire à une échelle qui est quand même conséquente. Donc c'est très ambitieux, c'est global, mais d'un autre côté, les partenaires qu'on a sont là pour ça. Et il n'y a pas de petite échelle. Enfin, c'est très, très homothétique, c'est très fractal. Ce qu'on sait faire à une petite échelle, on peut l'importer ailleurs.
So my question's in English, I'm afraid. But first, thank you very much for your presentation. So I work at a university in Canada where we've started to integrate the SDGs into the formal curriculum, where students are, faculty are receiving training with fellowships so that they're designing coursework. So as part of the students' program, they are now creating open educational resources that each serve progress towards specific SDGs. And I'm wondering if you foresee a way of expanding support so that not just opening it up for students, for example, building support for faculty who can then in turn scaffold resources, training, activities for their students to expand participation that way.
I would love to talk to you, of course. That's tremendous. I mean, thank you very much for your comment. It just shows how much there is out there. It shows as so many people are doing so many great things. It's just a problem of accessing to the information, and then when you get inspiration, how do you transform? How do you actually provide the support for the teachers, for the faculty to actually transition towards something which is very hard for them, from their comfort zone, because we have all been trained in a discipline, right? We come from a discipline background, and now we have to turn this into, so we have to address a problem. And from a discipline to a problem, you go from one discipline to a collective with all different facets of knowledge. And that interdisciplinarity is very hard to get into the schools and even in the university, as you know. So I would love to learn from you and see what we can do together.
There's a growing trend towards experiential learning, problem-based learning, work-integrated learning, and not a lot of tools for recognizing the learning that happens. So I'm wondering if you have protocols that teachers, educators can use to, it's almost like a meta curriculum. So if you do an action, here's the things you can learn, here's how you can capture.
Spot on, and that's where this is a really big gray area where we need a lot of work, and I think that this audience in particular is key for trying to decipher this, because it's between the formal and the informal. So at CRE, where we are doing this experiential learning or project based on SDGs for I don't know, a few years now, and what is very impressive is that all the students that have been through this, they say, this has been the greatest learning experience in my entire life. This is, wow, this is, you know, extraordinary. Even some of the top French engineers, discipline, competitive kind of, you see what I mean? I was one of those, so I think I confess. When you're forced to collaborate and you're forced to realize that you don't know, because you just have part of the understanding of the problem, and you have part of the answer, and you have to work with people with completely different background and mindsets. This is so insightful. So you learn so much, right? And you create friendship for presumably life. I mean, Tudor has been, how long have you been doing this? He's animating, facilitating the STEAM school in India for 3-4 years now. You should see those 100 kids that are coming together from 16 to 65, because we not only mix discipline, we mix also the generation and the kind of, you know, you have professionals, you have students. It's the level of energy and the creativity is just incredible. But what do we capture after this? We have a paper saying you've been there. And for them it's enough. But for the outer world, it's not enough. What kind of recognition we could give? What do we learn through that? So we have a research program. We are starting a research program to analyze this in more details. But obviously, we're not the only one, and there's presumably tons of research done through this. Can we standardize that in a way, or can we emphasize what is the most important and most appealing? That would help, if we had a framework like this, that would help people to transition from disciplines to project-oriented. I fully agree, but it's a work to be done.
Thank you. Merci, Gaël, Mainguy. Ok, donc on va passer maintenant à une table ronde. Alors la table ronde s'appelle, donc ce sont des témoignages d'un ensemble d'acteurs qui développent sur leur territoire des projets autour de la reconnaissance. Donc j'appelle Gerard Pruim from Europe, Holland, Bert, Jehoul from Open Knowledge Belgium, Présent from Learning Agents Canada, Nate Otto, also, and Chiara Carlino. I will. Yes. Is there enough chairs? No, I think no. Oh, this is for you. 5. But someone can also sit on that. This is okay, huh? Here. Well. So yeah. Who's this? I don't know. Present, you are presenting first something? Yeah? Are you okay? Three chairs? No? Gerard.
just a short recap. Okay. Oh, merci. Merci. Thank you. This actually is for me a great start. And also I hope you will enjoy what I'm going to tell you and what I wanted to share with you. This is a flat. Now it's actually an old building of a tax building. So it's called the Refund. And it's a social initiative from the municipality of Breda, where I live. My name is Gerard Pruim. I live in and work in Breda together with other people involved, and I will tell you more about that. This building is important for us, for the city, to give back something to the city, and for being creative artist made this blind wall, made this painting. So we are well known for as being an old city, but we are also focusing on new things and focusing on challenging people in the city to create these things. So I'm going to tell you about the learning experience we had with Compass. And if you ever go to Amsterdam and you got bored from Amsterdam because it's crowded, the next letter in the alphabet is B, and that's from Breda, so it's 2 hours driving. It's very nice to stay there. Next. Sorry, it's... No, not maybe... No, it's okay. Yeah, okay, thank you. So, what we did, I go back a year and a half ago. And I also shared this briefly with you in Paris, who were there. We were funded by the municipality of Breda to work on an innovation project to make people with skills, these skills visible for, so these personal skills to make it turn into civic value. And what we did, we developed a competency passport concept, and it was what we first not did is focus on technology, but what we did is design based on the stories of the users. So we developed some user stories, we developed some designs, approaches, and we shared that with the stakeholders. And the stakeholders were employers, also the public employment services, and the social organizations that are working with the people with the distance to the labor market. So our goal was to create a competency passport, originally from Antwerp, actually, together with my colleagues, Mark Vlak and Omar Sirre, not to forget to tell, we developed a concept based on the initiative also from OSOC, so Bert Jehoul was also involved. The idea was to create an open badge passport. No, not an open badge passport, but a competency passport for endorsements and to self-claim, and also aligned with ESCO, for instance. Yes, and the result was actually quite great because it worked very easily this way, and the reactions were very positive. To rephrase someone, a participant from who attended at Moerbij, some of the social organizations that were involved. This way I'm invited to an interview. So that opened new windows, new opportunities. And that we try to avoid is focusing not on technology, not on open badges, but on open recognition to show what people can do instead of focusing on what people cannot do. Because we know that, okay, most of them don't have a diploma, but they have other skills. So this is what it says. It says, underschrijf je vaardigheden, so underline your skills. This is challenging, and you can work on that. We have created a framework based on work fit skills, and you can work on that. So, And after this, we implemented it. We worked with the stakeholders, like the social organizations. Many opportunities arised because what occurred, we managed to organize an event beginning of this year in March at the building you just saw, the Refund building from the old text organization. And we organized a seminar on open badges, and that opened a lot of eyes of people working in the municipality. So the administrators, administrative organization, also the public employment services, employers, and all the stakeholders. So what they saw, they embraced the open recognition approach. And what we now are facing is 3 things. To recognize all learning. I'll give you these examples in short after this. Recognize all learning in the workplace. And so because it was not only this that caused it, of course, because there is, in many sectors in the labor market, there is a scarcity of jobs. And this caused a friction because there are 5,000 people unemployed in the region. So it may not sound a lot, but it is often a problem, not only social for society, but also for our city, because it is a cost. And so they are forced to do it differently. They are forced to do it differently, and they know that, well, I think they know that now that the way they did it previously isn't going to work. And so they have to focus on different things, different aspects, different skills. And these work fit skills or soft skills or 21st century skills, for example, that can be very helpful to create a bigger and more holistic picture of the persons that are involved. And it also empowers the people who are now being unemployed. So what we did, and already did, but we are going to restart this project, we are combining the Compass, the Competency Passport, together with the European Skills Profile tool, which is, well, not a user interface perfect, but it gives you, as a migrant, a self-assessment idea, so you can self-assess what you are good at, based on what you did in the third country, not being a EU country, but for instance, Syria, to give a better idea of what you did there. And it can be very helpful, as it turns out already. And we are going to work on an integrated design approach in 2020, so next year, in a few months already, with the approach of work-based learning. So what they are going to be offered is an approach that you are offered a learning opportunity, maybe on a map. We're not sure yet, but then it will be something that you can practice. And after that, you can claim the badge, or you get recognized for the badge. So that was 1, and this is 2. So this is MDT, also coming from Belgium. Lots of good things coming from Belgium. Yes, so the OSAC was 1. We got B-skilled from Belgium, but this is maatschappelijke diensttijd, so it's not a throat disease, what I say. It is the community service for young people. And it also appeals a lot to what my previous speakers said about the learning planet. What we are looking for actually is looking for a greater goal, not only 21st century skills, but also create a heterogeneous group of people, so coming from different backgrounds, and then they focus on the learning goals that you could derive from the UNESCO. So this was also very inspirational. Thank you for that. So this is actually the community service for young people is an initiative from the government, the national government, focusing on talents outside of the curriculum. And we're going to design a meaningful competence passport. Could align with 21st century skills, but especially I think it could also align, the last one. This is the last one. Compensation for social assistance benefit. So volunteering, people who are in social assistance benefit do a lot of volunteering work. 5 years or longer benefit, having an assistance benefit, and then they will be recognized. This is just started the initiative, and we will co-design this with the Public Employment Service of our city, which you should visit. It's just 2 hours drive. Thank you. This is it.
Works? Yes. Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you for inviting me to this round table. Thanks. So since we're talking about sustainable development goals, I thought I'd start by showing you this badge on the Bâtir platform. It's a little small, the writing, but I can tell you that it is about a special activity, learning activity that the University of Siena is carrying out, especially on sustainable development goals. And it is exactly a way to, as Gaëll was saying, to invite students to tackle this SDG challenge. So this is something where universities are working, as we have already heard from other interventions. As you know, let's see if I can change this. No. How do I get to the other? To the PDF? Yes. Oh, down maybe. Oh yeah. Okay, so as you probably know, I work for Cineca, which is the main consortium of Italian universities, and we work in IT, so we have a badging platform. And so our work on recognition, and not only in recognition, has its roots in universities. And I have to say that in the recent years, starting from, oh, come on, this, that, no.
Perhaps it's not full screen.
Perhaps it's not full screen.
I can help you.
Sorry. Anyway, in the last years, from 2015, when we started offering the Open Badge platform, I have to. Yes.
Sorry, I think it's here.
So it's not totally my fault.
No. Do it again. Here. Here. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So university started or found a tool to show how they're opening a bit their recognition processes in what we like to call the unbundling of the degree, so a way to express through open badges, more specifically what is included, or whatever competencies are included inside a degree and a study course. But yes, we have over 20 Italian university delivering open badges on Bâtir, and but besides the degree badges and the MOOCs badges, which you might expect, we have a lot of badges concerning soft skills, core skills, skills from personnel, from university personnel and from teachers, which are trying to highlight all the kinds of skills that are around the main core business of the universities. So these open badges are often the one coming from extracurricular activities are often open to the general public. And many of those can also be and are being recognized into students' careers as proper university credits. So what we are trying to actually achieving, is that kind of permeability between formal and non-formal recognition that was mentioned this morning, also in the technical session. So this for the opening up of recognition processes in universities. And after this, since we were talking about sustainability, I would like to mention the Open Agri project, which you might probably already heard about since it was presented here last year, and it is a project about peri-urban agriculture, a urban innovative action program where we are trying to support the highlighting of innovative skills that are needed to do innovation in peri-urban agriculture through open badges and open badge pathways. So we try to show how a collection of different skills can make up a new innovative skills and recognize what happens on the territory and can fuel innovation on the territory. So, thank you.
So I'm just going to do it from here. I don't have slides for this. I thought I'd try and summarize some conclusions, some reflections in action based on work I'm doing wearing several hats. We're going to be speaking tomorrow about HPASS at 12 p.m. That's the formerly called the Humanitarian Passport Initiative, and that is an attempt to create ultimately a skills exchange across the sector of humanitarian action in general, both emergency action and humanitarian development. And that's something where we're especially trying to capture the skills of what are called national staff. Usually when people think about, especially Europeans, think about humanitarian action, they think about Europeans going to places where people need help. But in fact, 70 to 80% of the workforce globally is what's called national staff, people who are on the ground either on a volunteer basis or increasingly on a paid basis, dealing with floods, dealing with natural disasters, war, disease, etc., and typically doing the bulk of the work and getting very little recognition. So basically HPASS is an initiative intended to deal with that, to recognize people for what they know and can do, and develop these in a form of the passport, the open badge passport, which is called MyHPass. So we're going to be talking in more detail about that then. Wearing another hat in Canada, Learning Agents is the Canadian partner of Open Badge Factory. We run a service called cancred.ca, and we're working with a number of post-secondary institutions, a number of associations and nonprofits to develop open badges in a cross-sectoral kind of basis. And we've been running some forums, for example, in both British Columbia and in Toronto, to get people across sectors talking about badges and actually committing themselves to ideas about badges. And the other wearing again slightly different hats with regard to that. We're working with eCampus Ontario, a consortium of higher education institutions in Ontario, 45 of them, and they have a dedicated passport. And the notion there is to develop a cross-sectoral recognition hub based on open badges, serving Ontario, using higher education as a hub for what I like to call recidivist learning, or returning to the academy to skill up to help you with your career. Yeah, so that's, and also working, currently working with Polytechnics Canada, which is an association of the 13 degree granting colleges and technical institutes in Canada, on a series of badges for soft skills. So those are the things we've been working on, and some of the same issues just keep on coming up. Part of that is the initial reaction of higher education to micro-credentials, which I think of as, first of all, as sort of pushing away, and then almost becoming a self-healing organism, saying, oh, it's just another form of credential. We can incorporate that and encapsulate that within what we're doing. And I think having a conference like this, keeping on pushing the barriers as it does in terms of open recognition, is an important counterpoint to that, to keep higher education in the context of the larger part of society and not just turning badges into another form of digital credential. Another thing I notice is that many people get caught up in the vision of badges and how they will go forward with them, and then they get set up with an account and then they don't quite know what to do. So this is a theme that comes up a lot. On the HPAS project, we've developed a guidebook for people to say, here are some steps you can take, and typically that's, many institutions want that. There are many independent-minded people who don't need this, who can think things through and have related experience, but others seem to need this idea of, well, try this first, think about it for a bit, try this next, work your way through here. Here are the kinds of people you should be contacting, both within your organization or institution. Here are the people you should be contacting outside your organization. We're starting to provide template badges where we say, okay, badges can mean many things, and they can be achievements, but they can also be course certificates. They can also be certifications. So coming up with a common way for people to approach this, because there are confusions in people's minds about things like certificates and certifications, for example. So just providing them with the tools and the resources, and almost like a roadmap for them to do, which they can veer off from if they choose, but just to have that in place, we find that's been quite useful. One of the things we're trying to do in all of this is to get away from the notion of a badge issuer in isolation. These are our certificates, please take these. And wherever we can, we're encouraging collaboration between institutions. That can be something just as simple as we recognize your badge in our badge pathway. We think you have quality learning system, and if you bring us your badges and maybe we introduce this little element for the final 20% of what we want to recognize in you, then that is a great saving, and a lot of people, especially in the HPAS system, are recognizing this and realizing that they don't have to reinvent the wheel. They don't have to come up with their own course if somebody can come to them with evidence that they've already qualified in the skill that's already been talked about. So things like common frameworks. That is a struggle, especially in Canada, given its constitution and the fact that we have 13 separate educational jurisdictions with a lot of alignment issues between those jurisdictions, and not necessarily as much credit transfer as you would wish. So that is an element that we are pushing. So in the humanitarian sector, we have the core humanitarian competency framework, so that, for example, a number of badges are being developed for security and safety. And that is one of the verticals in the core humanitarian competency framework. So we're moving towards a situation where be able to compare safety and security badges and make those more machine readable. We're also experimenting with endorsement, and sort of a fairly simple level of endorsement, so that we have a so-called safeguarding badge in HPAS right now that's being developed by the Humanitarian Leadership Academy. It was co-created with the Open University. So the Open University basically came on and said, this aligns with our values, and we worked on this. and now War Child UK and War Child Netherlands have come on and said, we endorse this badge, we recognize it as part of our requirements for our humanitarian workers. Just to wind up, the other element, and Serge was just providing me an example recently of another visual badge language. In HPAS, we're developing a common visual design guideline for badges that allows differentiation between organizations, but also provides a common framework for the topic of the badge and certain aspects of the badge, such as, was there a summative assessment before the badge was issued, or was there not? We've had some good success with this, and one of the things it says is that all organizations who come up with a sort of common look badge that's yet in different colors and involving different logos, they all share the same values and they all share the same language. So if you see the check mark on one badge and on the other badge, you know that both of them involve assessment. And so I think there's going to be more happening in that along the way. Going further, especially in HPAS, this notion of informal recognition of perhaps informal learning, I think is going to come in the form of what's MSF, for example, in Barcelona calls field recognition of learning. And I believe MSF Brussels also wants to be able to recognize whether somebody can do such a thing. So in other words, does a team leader say that this person can drive this truck? Okay, that's good enough. Let's badge that so that person doesn't have to prove that when that team leader is not available. That person has been trusted to drive that truck or to work on that truck to repair it. So this notion of field recognition of learning, especially for national staff who won't necessarily have access to formal learning, is going to become more and more important, as well as if they take a course, a formal course, and then have to apply it in the field and then be recognized for that as having applied it in the field, not just learned the concepts, they've actually used it in the workplace. So that notion is going to become more and more. And then HPAS as well, I know the people behind HPAS at the Humanitarian Leadership Academy are very interested in taking this fact that we have all these actors, individuals with these badges, and putting them together with organizations who are looking for skills and looking to find people through their badges to evidence their skills. So that's all I have to say for the moment. Thank you.
Yeah, first the slides. Okay, so I'm going to share a bit about what we're doing in Belgium on the topic of open recognition. In Belgium, open recognition is a part of the Open Knowledge Foundation, Open Knowledge Belgium. It's a local chapter of Open Knowledge International. It's a non-profit, and this is our credo, a world where knowledge creates power for the many, not a few. And we have different activities in Open Knowledge Belgium. Creative Commons is one of them, OpenStreetMap, Open Access, Open Recognition. We are doing something on the railway data. We have managed to open it up and created our own apps. Then we have Hack Your Future. It will come back in my presentation. It's a coding school for refugees. So we started in Brussels, a coding school for refugees coming in to upskill them as web developers. Then we have Open Summer of Code. Gerard has also shared a bit about it. It's a 4-week program in summer with students in which they develop services, mostly based, everything is published as open source and mostly based also on open data, different kind of innovation services. I will discuss 2 projects we did this year. And then we have Civic Lab, which is bi-weekly meetings in Brussels of civilians working on projects to improve society. So what did we do this year? We actually established Open Recognition Belgium. The working group was first named Open Badges Belgium. And during the Open Data Day in March, the International Open Data Day, we changed our name from Open Badges to Open Recognition. And the reason why is because we wanted to emphasize more on the concept behind the tool of Open Badges, seeing Open Badges as just one tool to establish what we want to achieve with Open Recognition. Then we had in March also our yearly event, Open Belgium, in which we had a panel discussion, which Serge was also present, on the status of skill recognition in the labor market. And we discussed this from the perspective of Open Recognition. This was a bit one of the takeaways of that panel. It's actually a quote of Serge, if I'm correct. So the focus on the European level is on the skill gap, but actually there is also a big recognition gap. And if you are serious about the skill gap, we also need to tackle the recognition gap. Then during the Civic Labs, bi-weekly, we also have a track which is working on like a technical level, but we're actually iterating on the concept of bit of trust, trying to grab exactly what it is and how it relates to Open Recognition. This is still going on, so every 2 weeks on Tuesday evening in B Central, which is a central station in Brussels. So if anybody is in Brussels, you're very welcome to join in on such a session. Something we do just generally spreading the word. We go to events and spread the message of Open Recognition. And then we had in summer our Summer of Code. These were all the students this year. We had 2 projects on Open Recognition. One of them was developed by our Hack Your Future class, and one developed by students. The first one, which was developed by 5 students, is Gentle Students. For people who were here last year, maybe remember, Dries has presented about it. So last year we developed Gentle Student during Open Summer of Code, and this year we improved it. And we actually also, it was an initiative of the students, we added more the concept of open recognition to it. So Gentle Student, basically it's an app in which organizations can put on the map of Ghent learning opportunities, and students can go to that learning opportunity and get a badge if they succeed. And what the students added to that is a concept which they called quests, is actually that you as a learner yourself could also add a quest to the map and say, I have this problem, can somebody come and solve it, and if it is solved, you get a badge for solving it. That's one. And the other one was the Hack Your Future teams, and we actually gave them the idea of how trust works on the internet now. And we let them iterate on that concept and try to build a new kind of social platform in which you yourself are not in control about your profile, but other people put things on your profile. If the video works, I don't know if you can help me with that. Actually, they click on the link. Yeah, so he pitched it himself. I give Ibrahim the word. Is the sound on?
Hi everyone. My name is Ibrahim Doğrusöz. I have 5,000 friends on Facebook, 3,000 Twitter followers, and a network of 2,500 people on LinkedIn. Do you trust me now? Would you hire me for a job? Or would you let me babysit your kid? In the era of social networks, it's very easy to become popular, but it's very difficult to be trusted. And it's even more difficult to be recognized as a trusted person. With this idea in mind, as the students of Hack Your Future, which is a coding school for refugees, we built a web application for Open Recognition Belgium. A web application where your social profile is built by the people who you trust. So you cannot claim your qualities yourself, but the people you trust must recognize your good skill. And this is open recognition. Now the question is, how many people do you trust? Who do you trust enough to create your social profile? Please think about it and make sure that you visit our booth so you get to know the stories of me and my amazing teammates. Thank you.
So this was the pitch that I did at the end of the Summer of Code. The great thing about this project was that they looked at open recognition from their own perspective, and one of the examples that they gave, for instance, if they go in Brussels or in Belgium to get housing, people look at them as, even if their background was like a doctor, people look at them as a refugee and they get difficulties to get housing, and it's not a problem of their background, it's more a problem of the trust. So they looked at the concept from their own experiences. So we learned a lot during Open Summer of Code. Then the last thing I want to mention about what we did this year in Belgium is Achtervelde, Dries, organized so DG EduHack is a global event, and Achtervelde was a part of it. So there was a hackathon, and one of the challenges that Achtervelde put out was a challenge concerning recognition, and we hacked on it, a 24-hour hackathon, and we came up with a new concept which we called Stitch, which actually is a you can see it as an open badges displayer, trying to make sure that recognition is a result and not the goal. And what we're going to do now, next, and we can hopefully present it next year, we have another Hack Your Future bootcamp coming up, and we're going to iterate on this concept of Stitch and try to develop it further. That's basically it. We have a new Twitter handle on the website, which points to the openrecognition.org domain, if you want to follow what we do in Belgium. Thank you.
Merci Bert, and our last witness is our guest star, Nate Otto. I don't know what he's going to present, it's a surprise.
Close this one off.
You will need to... yeah, I got it. You get it? Because it's...
All right, so I will do a live demo. No prepared slides. Live demo, dangerous. Thank you for the invitation. I'm Nate Otto. I represent Concentric Sky, where we build the Bâtir platform. Yep. Duplicate, please. I realize now that the keyboard layout is different from what I am familiar with. This will be extra difficulty level. It's okay, I only have maybe 10 more characters to type. That's great. So again, thank you for the invitation to speak again. We at the Bâtir team really believe in the power of open recognition and of building ecosystems where there are many participants and everyone is an equal participant who has the ability both to receive the trust of their peers and their community, receive the recognition and badges, but also to award badges as well. And we try and make it very easy for anyone to start up an issuing program. So let me go ahead and I'll sign into my account and show you a little bit about how this works. So Bâtir, if you're familiar with open badges, you are aware that there are different types of applications that can be built. You can build an application that is an issuer, as well as one that is a backpack where everyone collects their badges and displays them and connects to further applications. We do both of these types of application, and we're really proud to be one of the, this is going to be very fun. You want to type my email address? You help me out?
Okay, here's everybody's. Okay.
That one.
Yes. Okay.
Thankfully, the password should be easier. The special character, that's the hard one. Okay, one field down.
Tell me your password.
Right, yes. Okay, we'll see if I did it well. I'll try one more time, and if not, I'll explain the beautiful things without the demo. Ah, thank you. That is it. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, I should get a badge for learning a new tool. First try, but second try. So when you sign into Badger, you see the awards that you have received. You can receive badge awards for anything, large or small, any type of recognition from anyone. And so for each one, you're able to understand the criteria that it takes to earn the badge, as well as to share it to various different places where you want to present your badge. Share to social media, Facebook, everywhere. Badger makes it very easy to issue badges as well. So it takes a moment to load my collection of issuers because there are a large number of them. But for example, we collaborate with technical colleges to award badges for the skills that one learns that one needs to find a job. So let me briefly show you one more powerful thing that we believe is a great example of how we like to build an ecosystem that takes into account badges from all sources, not just the badges from our platform or the ones issued by the organizations that work with us directly. We have the Badger Pathways platform as well, which allows you to pull in badges from any organization that it awards open badges according to the standard. And so there's a large number of issuers that use the Badger Pathways to recognize achievements in their community, including pulling in badges, understanding the badges that are awarded by other organizations at a distance. So as an example, this made-up university could award an associate degree in biotechnology, and in order to complete this award, students could process through earning badges in formal education at the younger grade level, and then completing that, passing on to higher, more advanced work, and automatically earning badges as they complete different parts of the programs in which they're enrolled, including, for example, a job-ready certification that could be automatically awarded, reacting to badges that are awarded on many different platforms. We think that the interoperability of different platforms is a really important part of building an ecosystem where all types of learning can be recognized and can be understood. And so we are really proud to release this type of functionality within our platform, but also to reach out to the global community in several ways. So by the end of the year, we hope to right around the end of the year. I can't promise December 31st, but we hope to have the platform available within multiple languages, including Spanish, Portuguese, English, and French. and to be at the AA level for accessibility as well. So very usable by folks with all sorts of learning differences and differences in how they use their devices. So we will be opening the platform even more broadly to the global community where we have our servers hosted in 4 different regions around the world: the European Union, in Ireland, Canada, the United States, and in Australia, but also by making sure that the interface is available in many people's languages of choice. And in addition, tomorrow we will like to announce that there would be a special demo of a new way to award badges via posting on Twitter in a very immediate way, where you can claim a badge for being at ePIC and participating with your fellow learners here, and also to award a badge to other people to tell them the simple message that you rock. So stay tuned tomorrow afternoon, and we'll talk in the unconference about how to award these simple types of recognition and accept those badges into Badger just by interacting with one another on Twitter. Thank you very much, and I'll hand it back to you, Philippe.
Thank you. Alors, il est 15h26, it's 3:30. If you have 1 or 2 questions very quickly. Et si vous avez une question ou deux, sinon je vous invite à poser des questions à nos invités ici pendant le café. You can also ask your questions during the coffee break. But if someone has 1 or 2 questions in the audience.
Okay, so maybe one question to conclude. Maybe
okay.
What have you seen that changed over last year in the world of open recognition and badges? And what do you think should change in the future? What could we expect from the future? And it goes for you. How things have evolved over the last year, between last year's conference and this year? What kind of changes have you witnessed?
For me, it was the fact that we established open recognition as the name, and we actually it was already last year also the progress that we're making, but that now we really established open recognition as the concept where we're working on, and we have different things which falls under it, and we moved away from open badges as being we didn't move away from open badges. We still use open badges, but we see it more as a tool than as the only goal. And another thing that I think grasping the concept of open recognition is something which is still in progress. So make sure that we ourselves understand it and we have the same understanding about the concept, and then we can spread it out and try to convince other people about this message.
Thank you. What I realize, apart from that it's closer to my hometown, or maybe it's just because it's closer to Netherlands, and that there are so few people from the Netherlands. Maybe I should look at myself, but we should try to see what is in France happening and about open recognition, open badges as an instrument, how we could make that also more aware in our country or in Belgium. But maybe we should also focus on Open Recognition Alliance and align more with that and make it more public. I align with that, of course, but Bas Goedendorp is also in the audience, and we are working on Open Badges Netherlands, and we could focus on more on opening recognition. So it's, I think, a challenge for us and a task to work on that together with other partners. And the other thing is that I'm very happy to see is that last year there was a question about we should create services on that, and with the Open Connect, the Badge Connect, I think for us it is an opportunity for us, as I mean, who want to develop services. This is an opportunity to make that happen. So I think that's a great step. Yeah, thank you.
what I've seen is that I think we as a community have become more mature in identifying what it is that we can do with the recognition tools and what it is that we want to do. We can be more specific with each action that we take and with each badge or not badge that we decide to do with the specific goal that we are pursuing. On the other hand, every time we make such a decision, we kind of envision an environment, a future possible environment that is going to happen around these recognition tools that we build. And this environment is still to be built. We envision recruiters who are going to leverage trust networks to identify trustable badges and hire people based on this. There's still a lot to be built in this direction, which falls back into what everybody else was saying about services to be built and a bit more of not only awareness. We've built awareness, but we still need a lot of practice of day-by-day activity.
For me, the organizations I work with aren't as advanced as many. And I think just getting them to start thinking about doing it and to start simply with badging, with simple forms of recognition, and then move beyond, and not to try and combine things all at once. I think a lot of them run into cognitive overload when they try and reinvent their recognition and try open badges first. At the same time. So getting them to just try something simple with badges and then to move on to other forms of recognition. And where I think that's moving is this notion of field recognition of learning, recognizing somebody out not because you took a course, not because you did a standardized test, but because I recognize that you can do this thing, so you have this recognition to carry forward now. And I think for the organizations I work with, it's faculty and also lower and mid-management that are really important to engage and to give them the tools and the expertise they need to do this kind of field recognition of learning, as well as among peers.
Thank you. Coffee break?
Yes, coffee break. Juste une petite seconde. Donc sur le programme, on the program, you have, il y a le mot de notre présidente d'honneur qui interviendra vendredi, Claire Hébert-Suffren. Et you have the English translation here for the English speakers on the program. So it's a wonderful text. I invite you to read it. And secondly, now during the coffee break, you can have a solid version of your participant badge. I don't know if you noticed or if you got the badge with an email notification, but you all have normally this badge available. If you didn't have it, si vous ne l'avez pas trouvé, vous pouvez le demander. You can ask for it by scanning this QR code. And if you want to make a physical badge, just find Maëlle somewhere in the hall. She will print it for you, okay? And the last, you can contribute by taking notes. Vous pouvez contribuer en prenant des photos. You can take pics and send them to this email address. Vous pouvez prendre des photos et les ajouter à l'album. Vous pouvez prendre aussi des notes collaboratives, collaborative notes and pads. OK? Voilà. Yeah, you find everything in the program. Voilà. Alors, à tout à l'heure. See you at